Alright, so this is an architect is making a plan for a new circular playground. If the picture below, which is the one right here, 64 meters, is the playground, how much fencing is needed to keep the kids in the circle? Okay, fencing means perimeter. Oh, I'm sorry, not perimeter. Circumference, which is 2 pi r, or pi times d. So all I gotta do is take 64. Now, if they're asking for a word problem, you're not going to give me 64 pi. That doesn't tell me. So you got to give me 201.1 meters. That's what the answer is. All right, it says Dawn bought a circular rug. The radius of the rug is 1.5 feet. How much area will the rug cover? That's easy. Radius is 1.5. Area equals pi r squared. So that's area equals pi times 1.5 squared. So it's 7 point, I'll say, well, we're always rounding to the nearest tenth, feet squared. Bicycle trail in the shape of a circle has a diameter of 3 miles. Michelle biked around 4 times. How far did, okay, so first thing we should probably do when it says how far, that's probably talking about the circumference. So let's first find the radius. The radius, I'm sorry, but if we have the circumference, we just need the diameter. Diameter is 3. So that means that the circumference is 3 pi. That's 1 time around the circle. So if I multiply that times 4, that's going to be 12 pi. And I left it as pi to make it a better answer. 12 times pi. So that means she went about 37.7 miles. There you go. So first thing I did was I found circumference. Circumference is 1 revolution, or 1 distance around, and times that number by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Alright, Jane needs to buy mulch for the garden with the dimensions shown below. How much area does she need to buy? Rather than it's the nearest tenth. So what's here? It says area. Area equals pi times 5.5 squared. Pi times 5.5 squared. 95, which we're right on the dot, yards. And this is round, this is 0.0033, so we don't do anything, yards squared. And there we go. Alright, for this problem, we're going to find the area of the blue. So how we're going to do this is we're going to take the area of the large, which is the entire shape, and then subtract by the area of the small. And we're left with this donut shape. So what we're going to do is find the area of the large, which is pi times 12 squared minus pi times 5 squared. So let's figure this out. This is 144 pi minus 25 pi. So when you're doing this, you can actually just leave it like this, because it's like saying 144x minus 25x. It's actually going to be 119 pi. And if you actually want to figure that number out, it would actually be about, both these answers are right. Alright, so this is similar to the last problem. You're still taking area of the large, that's what the L stands for, the area of the small, that's what the S stands for. The large one is going to have a radius, the large radius is going to be 8. But this little right circle, the radius of the small is actually going to be 4. So you can see one number represents 2 different things. It represents the radius of the large circle, and then the diameter of the small one. So let's take pi times 8 squared minus pi times 4 squared, so we're going to get 64 pi minus 16 pi, and then when we subtract that, we're going to get 48 pi. So you can write 48 pi as an answer, or if you wrote something like 150.8, you'd be fine as well. So the first Ferris wheel was built in 1893 in Chicago. Its diameter was 250 feet. How many feet did the Ferris wheel rotate in one complete spin? So when it says one complete spin, we're talking about circumference. Circumference is pi times d. And we know diameter is 250, so we just take 250 times pi. 250 times pi, 785.4 feet. It's in one turn. Alright, so the outside radius of a truck tire is 11 inches. Approximately how far will the truck travel after 3 rotations of these tires? So that means circumference. We know the radius, so it's 2 pi r. So that means we're going to figure out that it'll be 2 times 2 pi times 11. So one rotation. I'm just going to leave it in pi for now. I'll change it at the end. It's going to be 22 pi. After 3 rotations, we just simply multiply that number by 3. and you get 3 rotations. Rotations is 66 pi, but they want to know the number, so let's take 66 times pi. It's going to be 207.3 inches. There we go. It says Charmaine has a circular garden that she separates into 3 equal parts. If the radius of the garden is 9, what is the length of the arc in each piece? So let's first find circumference. It's 2 times pi times r. The radius is 9. So we take 2 times pi times 9. So that means it would be 18 pi. It says here is cut into 3 equal pieces. So the best thing is to do is divide that number by 3. That'd be 6 pi, or let's take 6 times pi, 18.8 meters. So both those numbers would have been acceptable to me. But since it says 3 equal parts, that's why I divided by 3. Alright, so let's find the distance traveled by the tip of the second hand of a clock in 1 minute if the hand is 6 centimeters long. So that means that the radius is 6. That means we need to find circumference. 2 times pi times 6. So that means that comes out to be 12 pi. That's my circumference of this clock. If it says 1 minute, that means we need to figure out 1 over 60 minutes. So what we need to do is take 12 times 1 over 60. It's going to be 0.2. 0.2 pi. This will be multiplied by pi. So it's going to go from 0.6. I'll put another decimal in 3 centimeters. So remember, I got 1 over 60 because it says clock in 1 minute. If it was 1 minute, there's 60 minutes on a clock. So 1 minute, that's how many it moved. If it's at 5 minutes, we do 5 over 60. It all depends. It says Arthur ran around a circular field 3 times. If he ran a total distance of 750 meters, what is the diameter of the radius? So first off, that's 3 laps equals 750. Let's figure out 1 lap. 750 divided by 3, it's 250. So he went 250. So we need to figure out that circumference. So actually all I need to do, it wants to know diameter. So that means I need pi times d equals 250. All I have to do is divide 250 divided by pi. It came out, so if I divide by pi, that cancels that out. So it won't come out to the best number, but diameter is going to be about 79.6 meters, roughly that. Because if I took 79.6 times pi, it's going to give me 250.07. So it's roughly, so it's just rounding issues, but it's as good as it's going to get. Alright, so Elena cycled to school. Find the distance traveled by Elena if her bicycle rotates 840 times and the radius is 0.25 meters. So circumference is pi times 2 pi 0.25. So let's figure out 1 rotation. That's going to be 0.25 times 2. It's going to be 0.5 times pi. So if I want 840 rotations, I do this times about 840. Times with 840. That's going to be 420 pi. So I can't forget about that pi, but I'm going to actually figure out that number. And it's going to be 1,319.5 meters. There you go.